What happens when you pull the rug out from under your fabulous life? If you fantasize about shifting gears, but your professional or personal life feels impossible to change, I'll share the gifts I found in starting over. I had built a high-end portrait photography business that I truly loved, and I felt it was meaningful work. But years and years of sessions showed me irrefutably that it was draining my spirit. I would stand across from clients, talented, brilliant, creative, beautiful people who saw themselves as a set of apologies. They would come in apologizing for their humanness, essentially. And I would work hard during the session to ensure I could capture their light, hoping they could see themselves with love as I did. Here's what I realized. I was coaching them while I was quietly suffocating under my own success identity. The truth is, I wasn't just a photographer. I was a performer, serving a script that told me that as long as I was busy, I was winning. We often wear our titles and achievements like badges of honor, thinking they make us experts, sure-footed, worthy. In Soul North, we call these success identities, the roles we play to meet outsider expectations. These identities are curiosity thieves. Once you label yourself the expert or the alpha, you work to keep that achievement, and you stop exploring who you actually are now in this moment. I realized that my photography business, while successful, had become a congested enterprise for me. I felt a clench every time I got a call for a shoot. I loved the work, but it was no longer a good fit for who I had become. I was no longer in flow. I was in a rhythm that wasn't mine. I was blind to my own being's messages about wellness and alignment because I was too busy keeping up expectations around success, achievement, worthiness. So I did the unthinkable. I unmantled it all. Every single shred of my life, personal and professional. Not because I was failing, but because I needed to rediscover my north. I started by closing loops of unfinished business, the energy drains that were costing me my bandwidth. I called full stop on my networking practice and my business growth plan to completely revision how I could meaningfully empower people through big life shifts and help them shine their brightest. I moved from the city to the country. I abandoned alarm clocks and embraced nature's cycles and chapters. This is a messy middle time. No bones about it. Dark nights of the soul, waking up at 2 a.m., feeling precarious, but I never second-guessed it. I never looked back. Some days I had no idea where I was heading. Let's back that up. For months, possibly years, I had no real idea where I was heading. But I never doubted this is where I needed to be. I was home, and home gave me sight, spirit, and zest that I had forgotten were possible to this degree. With time, I realized that each season has its own wisdom, empowering us to move on to the next one, but not before we are ready. And that resistance only prolongs our stuckness. I began to read my body's very clear yes and no, as if learning to read a new language. I now understand that knowing is the click of the key in the lock. Our heart knows before our brain even gets involved. If you are currently feeling the weight of a success identity that no longer fits, know that unbecoming is not a loss. It is a homecoming. You don't have to phone it in anymore. I've created a burnout audit to help you identify your own energy leaks and where you might be congested. You can download it at the link below. Let's stop the hustle and start wayfinding. Subscribe to join me on the sure-footed path.